Well, hello there, Cryptowisers. It's your good friend Milton here with another video for you. Okay, guys, today we got to talk about the Sui network. If you guys have been watching my channel lately, you know that I love Sui. It's one of my big bags this cycle. I think this one has huge potential to do amazing things this cycle. And over the last couple of days, it has been the Sui Basecamp happening over in Paris. Now, I wasn't able to go, which I have huge FOMO about. So instead, I'm doing this video and we're going to be talking about Sui DeFi because I've been doing a ton of things in the Sui DeFi space. There are a ton of platforms to check out. So many great incentives happening over on Sui DeFi. So I'm going to be sharing with you 5 up and coming DeFi platforms on the Sui network that you got to know about. First things first, if you haven't heard about Sui yet, first of all, I don't know, what are you doing? Living under a rock or something? Okay, this is one of the major new blockchains to hit the market. I did this video here with David Tixon, who is one of the people who works for Milton Labs, which are the creators of Sui. So if you haven't checked out that video, make sure that you check that out. Will Sui be the big winner in 2024? I definitely think it has a great chance. Essentially, Sui is a layer 1 blockchain that is already the fastest blockchain out there, and it's super cheap and it works really well right now. So of course, a lot of people are comparing it to Solana or saying that it could be the Solana killer, or at the very least, a Solana competitor for years to come. I will definitely be talking a ton about Sui on the channel this year. I really do believe that it has a huge chance to be one of the breakout crypto projects of 2024, 2025. I am really hyped about it. It's one of my biggest bags and a ton of exciting things happening on there. And if you use Solana, you know what's been going on recently with the congestion. It's, a lot of the transactions haven't been working. So even if you're a fan of other chains, it's always great to be using multiple chains, in my opinion. I got to say, this past week, I've been super thankful that I've gotten into the Sui ecosystem and been using it a lot because I've been able to use that while Solana's been having its issues. And so why are so many people saying that Sui could be the Solana of this cycle? Well, easy for me. Really, it reminds me of Solana the most because of the user experience. Last cycle, I was using Ethereum a lot, and then BSC came out, the Binance Smart Chain, and that was just way faster and cheaper. So a ton of people started using that, me included, but it was kind of Ethereum light. It didn't really feel any different. You knew it was centralized, but it was really the only alternative out there that had network effect of any kind. So yeah, everyone was using it until Solana. And I got to Solana pretty late in the game, and I started using Solana, and the user experience was just so much better that I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And then from then on, I've been using it ever since. Well, my experience starting to use Sui was very similar. I started using Sui, I set up a wallet, I started using the DeFi platforms, and it's just an amazing experience. I got to say, I even like it better than the Solana experience. It's super fast, super cheap, works great. All the wallets and the platforms are really easy to use. So anyway, if you start using these things, you can definitely see which ones are going to succeed and which ones aren't, just from a user experience. And that takes me back to Sui Basecamp. So as I said, over the last couple of days, Sui has been having their first ever major conference over in Paris, and a few big news items came out of it. One I just want to mention because this is really exciting. They are coming out with their own portable game system, the Sui Play OX1, powered by Playtron. There's a ton of stuff also going on gaming wise for Sui, and I'll be doing some future videos about Sui gaming for sure, but this is super exciting. Reminds me again of when Solana came out and said they were going to be launching their phone, the Saga. A lot of people were unsure about it, but that's been a huge success, and I think this also has an equal chance of being a game changer for Web3 gaming. But today's video is all about Sui DeFi. I'm going to be talking about 5 up and coming DeFi platforms on Sui that you got to know about. Amazing yield incentives going on right now. So without further ado, let's get straight into some Sui DeFi. All right, the first DeFi platform on Sui that I want to talk about is Turbos Finance. This is a DEX on Sui. Now guys, when I say that DeFi on Sui has been on fire, I am not lying. I mean, the TVL is 658 million. It peaked at about 700 million just a few days ago. If I move myself out of the way here and just show you the chart here, I mean, you can see it's just been going parabolic in terms of TVL. And there's a good reason for that. One, Sui's incredible, but two, this is still a very early ecosystem. They are offering great incentives. The platforms are great, easy to use. Obviously, as we all know in crypto, getting in early can be very lucrative because there are going to be a ton of airdrops in DeFi on Sui, but also if you're one of the early adopters, you get to take advantage of all these great incentives that these DeFi platforms are offering in terms of yield. As I mentioned, Sui has a ton of amazing platforms. Okay, this is a thriving ecosystem already that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So today I'm going to highlight 5. And they're not going to be the most obvious ones. These are ones that are either up and coming, fairly recent, or ones I think that are slightly under the radar compared to some of the other ones that have already been talked about a lot on Sui. All right, so as I said, I'm starting with Turbos Finance. This is number 10 on Sui in terms of value locked at just over $21 million. In terms of vibe, if you've been around crypto for a while, this one reminds me of kind of the pancake swap of Sui in terms of its accessibility. It's really going for an accessible vibe. It's fun, nothing too complicated here, and they have a lot of amazing yield. Like I said, its main function is as a DEX, so you can come here and swap any of the main tokens on Sui. Now, one thing to say about Turbos Finance is actually out of the projects that I'm going to be talking about today, it's one of the very few that actually has a token out already. So the Turbos token, it's already out there. It's already trading. One of the very few DeFi tokens on Sui that you can get right now. It's got a fully diluted market cap of just over $40 million. So still fairly small, especially if you think that this has a chance to be the top DEX. On Sui, you can see it's trading at 0.004 cents. We're not sure what the circulating supply is right now, but the max supply is 10 billion token. Now, all the platforms that I'm talking about today, I have actually used. I like to use Turbos one as a way to swap tokens, but it's also got some great incentives in terms of earning by providing liquidity, especially with some of the fun meme coins that are going on Sui right now. So I'll talk about that a little bit, but first let's just have a look at some of the tokens on Sui to give you kind of just some context for what they are. You've got AF Sui, which is one of the liquid staking tokens. It's the Aftermath liquid staking Sui. Hint, hint, I might be talking more about Aftermath in this video, so stay tuned for that. Sui obviously has the two main stablecoins, USDT and USDC, but there are a couple other stablecoins available right now on Sui or going to be available on Sui, and I'll mention that later in the video as well. Now, if you're not familiar with the Sui ecosystem, FUD is the top meme coin, at least at the moment on Sui. It was the first one as far as I know, and the one that has the biggest market cap, has gained the most traction. There are a few other ones. You might have heard me talk about Kimchi, which is specifically targeting the Asian market. And then there are a few other ones that are trying to compete with FUD, but so far FUD is by far the number one meme coin on Sui. So like I said, Turbos is really going for an accessible feel and look and a very fun feel and look. It's super easy to use. In terms of wallets, I've mentioned this on the channel before. I use the Sui wallet, but there are a lot of great wallets. You can even use MetaMask here for Turbos. So here are some of the liquidity pools, and you can see like just some of the yield that you can get right now is very high. For the FUD Sui pool, you're getting at right now 113%. I've been watching this one. This one has gone from 500 down to 100, but it fluctuates still. It will go up to almost about 200 still every now and then kind of down just under 100, but great yield there. Sui USDC, you're getting 170% right now. These yields obviously go up and down, but they're very high right now and have been high for a while. And here's where you'll find, if you are into the meme coins, and Turbos is really good at adding a lot of the new fun meme coins that are out there. Now, obviously, these are very volatile. Be very careful, do your own research. But say something like Simba, which is one of the new meme coins that launched a little while ago on Sui. They've already got a liquidity pool for it. So you'll see that Turbos sometimes will be the first place that you'll find liquidity for the newer meme coins. If you're willing to provide liquidity for that pool, right now you're getting 9,000% on that. But keep in mind, very low liquidity, only 14,000 in that pool. And pretty low volume on it right now at only $1,000 worth of volume in the last 24 hours. But as you know, with meme coins, if these things take off, you never know. So I also find that Turbos is a good place to go to kind of get information on volume, liquidity for the new meme coins and watch what's going on there. But for the bigger pools, you'll see the volume is actually very respectable here. You've got over $5 million in volume for the Sui USDC, and then almost a couple 100,000 for Turbos Sui, which is not bad at all, and also the FUD Sui pool at almost $200,000 a day. Not bad there also. A couple other things about Turbos is there is a bridge on here, which is a wormhole bridge. It's powered by Wormhole, but if you're looking for ways to bridge in and out of Sui, you can do that on Turbos. And they've got this thing here, which is pretty fun. It's their Turbos Grand Prix. So every week, if you hold 5,000 Turbos tokens or more, then this is how they give you your rewards, is through this Turbos Grand Prix. As I said, they're trying to be very accessible and fun. And so 4 days from now, anyone who has more than 5,000 Turbos in here will be getting their rewards. Right now, it's at about 10% yield APR. All right, so Turbos Finance, that's the first one I wanted to talk about. Okay, guys, before I mention the number 2 DeFi platform on Sui that I want to talk about, do me a favor. If you're enjoying this video so far, smash that like button. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't all. Okay, the second DeFi platform on Sui that I got to talk about is Aftermath Finance. This is definitely one of my favorite platforms on Sui so far. Essentially, it's a SEX, centralized exchange, but on-chain. So the ease of a centralized exchange with none of the risk. It's a decentralized exchange that basically has all the bells and whistles that you would want from a centralized exchange, but in a decentralized way. If we go into their docs, I really like how they express themselves here in terms of what they are and who they are. So essentially, they are taking all the lessons learned from the previous cycle, from the start of decentralized finance, with all the bankruptcies and fraud that we saw in centralized exchanges like FTX, but the centralized earn platforms out there like Celsius and BlockFi, but also what they learned from DeFi, like platforms like Olympus and Terra Luna. So basically, they're saying that they're taking everything that was learned in those early days in DeFi and trying to create a platform that will not fall into any of their traps. And as they say here in their docs, in the aftermath of the failures of centralized exchanges and other top protocols in decentralized finance, what's our way forward? So I imagine the name Aftermath comes from that ethos of trying to be a new kind of DeFi, a safer, more decentralized kind of DeFi. So as I briefly mentioned when I was talking about Turbos, as well as being a decentralized exchange and trading platform, they have one of the best liquid staking options for Sui, which is the Aftermath Sui. They do smart order routing. You can invest and earn on the platform, and that's what I'll talk about a lot. And the farming rewards, those are the main ways that I'm using the platform right now. And they also, like Turbos, offer a bridge. They do it through Wormhole or seller, and you can bridge from 6 different chains onto Sui. So let's hop right into the app. This is what it looks like here. Definitely a different vibe than Turbos, more professional, more of a kind of professional trading platform, serious kind of vibe to it. That said, they do have a bunch of fun things. As you can see up here on the site, they say, haven't got your egg yet, Anon? Grab your eggs and prepare for the future of Aftermath. Purchase eggs on Tradeport. So this is another thing that's been going on Sui that seems to be taking off, which are the trading platforms, and especially the newer ones that don't have a token yet. They're launching with NFTs. Right now, there's not huge clarity on what these NFTs will provide you in terms of rewards and such, but they're obviously going to provide you something. And because Aftermath does not have a token right now, obviously there's a lot of speculation that there eventually will be an airdrop. So if you go onto Tradeport, here we can have a look at the supply. There's just under 10,000 of these Tradeport eggs. I haven't gotten one of these yet. A lot of people think that if you have an egg, that will be part of how you get the airdrop for Aftermath. And I agree with them. Of course, that will probably be one of the perks that you get if you have this NFT. But like all airdrops, I also imagine that if you just use the platform of Aftermath, if they do end up doing an airdrop, then you would probably also qualify. Anyway, that's what I'm guessing, because the NFTs are not outrageously expensive. The floor right now is 178 Sui, but that's not nothing either. So far I've chosen not to get one. I might change my mind on that, but right now I am using the platform, one for their liquid staking of Sui. And if you're not familiar with liquid staking, so any of the big ecosystem tokens that have staking, so like ETH or Solana and now Sui, instead of just staking directly, you can trade your tokens for a liquid staked token, which basically gives you the rewards of if you were staking the token, but it's a tradable token, so you're not actually locked up. You can always trade in and out of the tokens. So if you're looking to stake your Sui, this is an option for you. Instead of actually staking your Sui, you can get the Aftermath liquid staked token, the AF Sui. And if you do that, one of the things that you can do here is on Aftermath, you can provide liquidity to any one of their pools here. They offer a really good stable coin pool, which is kind of a basket of stable coins, including some wrapped USDC and USDC and Tether. And as you can see, in terms of TVL, they've done really, really well. They are the 4th biggest DeFi platform on Sui in terms of TVL. They've got over $84 million right now in TVL. And as we see, the bulk of that is in their 5 main pools. There's that stablecoin one that I just talked about. Then they've got one which is Sui Buck. I won't go into Buck too much today, but that's another stablecoin option on Sui. They've got the wrapped USDC in Buck. Then they've got Sui Aftermath Sui, which is in terms of if you're trying to build your Sui bags, this is one that I've been using. Instead of having to have half stable coins, you can basically match Sui and liquid staked Sui, so there's less volatility there, less chance of impermanent loss in a pool like that, and you can build your Sui bags that way. And then they've got a couple of pools. One is Sui with wrapped USDC, then also the liquid staked Aftermath Sui with USDY. So I just want to touch quickly on what USDY is, because it's a pretty exciting product that is just come out recently. It's a new type of stablecoin by Ondo Finance. I haven't talked a lot about Ondo Finance on the channel, but it is a really great project that I'll talk more about in the future. Anyway, they are offering this US dollar yield token, basically a stablecoin that offers yield at 5%. And that yield is coming from US treasuries. So essentially they back the stablecoin with US treasuries. And instead of say something like Tether, which keeps that as profit, Ondo with this particular product at least is putting that yield back into the stablecoin. So really exciting product. And you can get some of that if you want on Aftermath, or use it to add liquidity to the pool. So that's a really exciting pool that they have. So the APRs on these pools, you might notice, aren't great. So the highest one right now is the Sui Buck pool, which is at just under 16%. But what you do is essentially take your liquidity tokens from these pools, and then you can put them into the farms, and that way you will boost your yield. So right now there are 5 farms that you can boost your yield. Like I said, there's the Sui Aftermath Sui one and the Aftermath USDY are both an option here where you can add liquidity and then you can stake that liquidity in the farm and boost your APYs. And here you're getting, some pretty good yield up to 40% on this one, 72, 61, 87. And when you lock it in the farm, you get to decide how long you want to lock it there. It's up to 14 days that rotates. So you can lock it for 1, 2 days, all the way up to 14 days. Every 2 weeks that resets. And obviously, the longer you lock for, if you lock for the whole 14 days, then you get that higher yield and the yield comes down the shorter you lock it. So those are the main functionalities of Aftermath Finance. Of course, follow them over on X, Twitter. Make sure you do your own research about these platforms. A lot of them are new. There is some risk, of course, in terms of not knowing the teams that well or smart contracts being hacked or whatnot. Of course, there's always risk when you're putting your capital into these DeFi platforms. For me, I've chosen that the small amount of risk I think you're taking is worth the reward. Of course, what I like to do is diversify over a bunch of these platforms. And I didn't mention it before, but of course, follow Turbos Finance on X as well. And while you're there on X, you might as well give me a follow too at Cryptowise Guys. That's at Cryptowise Guys. As you can see, I've got a fuddy here, which is one of the Sui NFTs. So I am fully repping Sui over on X right now. So make sure you give me a follow there and say hello. Love to chat with you guys over on X. All right, let's move on to the third platform I want to talk about today, and that's another DEX. This one is called Crya Finance. Krya, Crya Finance. Of course, you can swap your tokens out, and each of these DEXs will have different tokens, so you might have to go to one or the other in terms of what you're looking for. For example, there's a meme coin called Sakaban, which is on here, but not on some of the other ones. But as you see, they've got the USDY here as well. And they've also got a different liquid staked product of Sui, which is called Volo Sui. So that's like the Aftermath Sui, it's liquid staked Sui, but this one is from a project called Volo. So that's VSui. I've been using Crya. It's another great platform, great DEX. This one has actually been around for a while. I'm fairly new to it. They're going to be adding perps to the site. It will be a fully decentralized exchange that way. Now that is in testnet phase right now, so only certain people are eligible to use it. I have not used that part of the site yet, but they also are offering rewards, of course, when you add liquidity to the site. And if we go into the spot menu here, you can see the liquidity here, and these are their main pools here. And again, like Aftermath, they have both a base APY for each of the pools and a max APY when you lock in that staking. And again, some of these APYs are very good, but you're going to want to kind of compare and contrast because some of them are different. For example, the Aftermath Sui, if that's what you like for staking Sui, you're probably better off on Aftermath itself because the pool here will pay less than the one on Aftermath. But some of the pools here might offer more than Aftermath. So always look around and see what the different yield options are if you're looking for the best yield. For their rewards, one thing that's a little bit different here for Crya is that you do get extra boosted rewards if you provide liquidity to more than one pool. So if you provide a minimum of liquidity into 4 pools, then you earn the maximum amount of boosted rewards. Now, they did also have a few other reward campaigns that I missed out on that happened before that have ended now. Right now, they are on the Suinami 2.0 lock and load. That's what is going on right now. Again, this one is a platform that does not have a token yet. So speculation is that eventually they will be airdropping that token to the users of the platform. And obviously, the more active you are on the platform, the more liquidity you provide and all that kind of stuff, you would imagine that you would get more of the airdrop. The total value locked on Crya, they are right behind Aftermath Finance. They're the 5th largest platform on Sui right now. Their TVL is just under 56 million, so very, very respectable. And like the other platforms we talked about, there's also a bridge function on Crya. They also use Wormhole and Seller like Aftermath, but they also offer other things. They offer Hero Swap. You can transfer from a centralized exchange on here, and then you can buy also Sui with fiat right through Crya, and that is powered by Transact. Anyway, Crya Finance, another one to have on your radar, another great option in Sui DeFi. And of course, they're on X like all the platforms are, so I would recommend that before using them, you go and you follow them and do your own research on it. As you might have noticed with the rewards page, their whole vibe or theme is kind of a Buddhist kind of yoga, meditation, kind of peaceful vibe, at least. Reminds me of the branding that Mantra DAO used. And speaking of Mantra DAO, I should talk more about them on the channel because they're one of the very first projects that I covered on this channel like 3 years ago. And they're doing really, really well. So I should do an update on them. They're the Ohm token. Anyway, they had branding that was kind of like very Buddhist-like, and Crya is using that kind of same kind of branding, as you can see in their X. Building in peace, building on Sui. So that idea of peace, meditation, yoga, all that kind of stuff, chakras. So it's always interesting to see how these dexes try to brand themselves and be different than the other ones. All right, guys, I got 2 more that I want to mention on today's video. I won't go as in depth with these 2 because these are 2 of the newest ones, and I'll talk more about them in later videos. But I like both of these 2, and they should be on your radar. The first one is Pseudo Finance, which is another decentralized exchange. Now, this one is very new. I haven't used it yet, but I did buy the NFT for this platform. Like Aftermath, they launched an NFT called the S card. These just minted last week, and if you weren't on the whitelist, the public mint, I think they went for about 30 Sui, and as you can see right now, the floor for them right now is 43 Sui, so they've been going up. And again, there isn't huge clarity around exactly what the S card will bring you. But of course, there's anticipation and speculation around an airdrop too with Pseudo Finance. And of course, if you have their NFT, you would think that you might be more likely to qualify for that airdrop. But as always, my rule of thumb is use the platforms. That is usually the biggest way you can qualify for any of these airdrops. Now, the thing that makes Pseudo Finance so different than any of the other ones that I've talked about today is they actually are the first decentralized real world synthetic asset trading platform on Sui. So unlike the other ones where I was talking about just trading different Sui tokens, here you can trade real world assets. That's the idea behind Pseudo Finance. And if you're interested in trying the platform, up here on the platform, you can see how to trade here. Just go there, and they've got a whole section here on showing you how to do it. Again, I haven't used it. I don't know what's functional yet and what's not functional. All this might not be functional yet, but as you can see in their examples, they're using examples like Apple stock or Meta stock or Tesla stock. So the idea is that you'll be able to trade real stocks on here, but through a decentralized way and a digital kind of representation of that stock. We've seen that on other chains. This is the first one that's doing it on Sui. But certainly they are getting some traction. If you go to the stats page here, then this opens up these metrics here. See the total trading volume is already over 24 million. Total fee collected, almost 200,000. And they've got almost 700 users so far. Okay, last but definitely not least, we got to talk about Bluefin, which is another trading platform on Sui. Again, does not have a token yet. This is going to be a very highly anticipated token on Sui. I think this one could be very, very big. So if you're looking to qualify for that and you're a trader, you might want to try their trading platform. They do have perps here. They've got ETH, BTC, Sol, Sui, Aptos, Arbitrum. So they got a lot of the big tokens on here already. Now, if Bluefin sounds familiar to you, that's because they have already launched on Arbitrum. So if you're a big trader and you use Arbitrum, you might have used Bluefin there already, but it's very exciting as they are one of the top perp trading platforms. And now they're going to be also on Sui. They've got over 20 billion in volume to date. They're doing close to 200 million in volume a day on Arbitrum. So the fact that they're also adding Sui is a big deal. This is definitely one to have on your radar. If you watch this channel regularly, you know I'm not a huge trader. I'm way more of a long-term investor. With the DEXs, for me, I like to use them to add liquidity and earn yield on my investment bag. I do dabble in trading here and there, but it's not my top priority. But I think Sui is going to be huge for trading because of how fast it is and how cheap it is. So I definitely think that these platforms getting in early for me as an investor is a really exciting opportunity. But if you're a trader out there, definitely highly recommend that you start using these tools and let me know, give me some feedback on them. What's your user experience for them? I'm really curious to hear from traders how the experience is for you. Okay, guys, those are 5 DeFi platforms you need to have on your radar that are on Sui. I'm using them right now. A lot of them, as I mentioned in the video, you could qualify for an airdrop. Many of them do not have tokens yet. So this is the time to start using them if you're interested. And like I said, these are 5 of many. There's a lot of great platforms already on Sui. I've talked about some of them already in past videos, but I will continue to be talking about them because I am very pumped about Sui DeFi. For me, it has been an essential part of my investing strategy this bull run, and I'm going to be continuing to use it big time. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Again, if you enjoyed it, please smash that like button. Really helps people find us. And of course, subscribe to the channel. I will be back very soon with my next video, so stay tuned for that. But until next time, I'm Milton saying over and